So hello and welcome to the Expat Pod and welcome to the shorter quick-fire questions version of the podcast. If you haven't really listened to the episode with Chandra and I talking about her life moving from the US to Spain, then please go and do so after this episode, of course, and we'll get into this kind of fun part of the kind of weekly post of your life abroad. So essentially, Chandra, my first question to everyone is always, where is the favorite place you ever lived?
Where's favorite place I ever lived? I would have to say Denver, Colorado. It was just gorgeous. And the mountains look different every day.
Wow. And for those who might not know where Denver is in the US, which part of the US might that be?
I'm sorry. That was very ethnocentric. Colorado. So the Rocky Mountains, more west than central part of the country.
Thank you. Yeah, because I've heard of Denver. I know the Broncos are a team, but other than that, I didn't.
You already know a lot. There you go. You know everything there is to know about Denver.
My next question is, what's your favorite international food?
That's tough because I grew up in Los Angeles, so there's a lot of different cuisines that I like. I'm a sucker for Mexican food. I'm sorry, but it's just, Mexican food.
Dish which stands out that you would have on, I guess, death row or something?
Just street tacos. Mm-hmm. Or elote, the corn with the it's like a mayo kind of covering and like spicy pepper on it. Oh, it's so good.
I've not tried that. I'll have to hunt that down next time I go to a Mexican restaurant. And what's your favourite international tradition?
So far, this is going to sound really bad, but it's just the first one that comes to mind. Learning how to not be the loudest person in the room. Here in the US, we like to announce our presence. And so learning how to kind of better contain all that and just rein it in. It was a good skill to learn, I think, for all the countries I've been to.
Was that hard when you came back? And were you muted by everyone else?
That's a really good question. No, I think it's just like immediately you just take back over. You know what I mean? Like, where's my Uber?
You kind of resort to default.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when in Rome.
And then what was your favourite thing about living abroad?
All of it. Learning just the different times that people do things, the different foods that were available, the different foods available in the grocery store, the difference in cost in different places, the way that even apartments look different depending on where you are in the world. Just everything was different. It felt like an adventure every day. Even just doing the mundane daily living, it just felt like an adventure.
Yeah, that's very true. It can be quite tiring, but it's definitely exciting for sure. What's your best homesickness remedy?
Plenty of time to talk to loved ones. WhatsApp was amazing, and it was a lifesaver. I think Telegram is the other one that is mostly used. But just really scheduling time to talk to loved ones. Journaling is great. Having loved ones send you like spices that may not be available in the place you're living now, so that you can cook foods that remind you of home, because that can be really comforting.
That's very true. Yeah, I think for me, it was always watching TV shows that I grew up with, or I was used to at home, or trying to do something which reminded me of home. So I don't know what that might be for SNL perhaps, or something for you. Then kind of going on from that, what's the hardest thing about living abroad?
It's very humbling, especially if you're living in a place that doesn't speak the same language. You feel very much alone if you're in another country and you don't know anybody. I mean, you are alone, essentially, right? But it feels very much so. Like there is no cavalry coming for me. I'm going to have to learn how to say all of these words in a language I don't know if I am to survive in this different place.
Yeah, it's very true. And your level of language becomes, you resort back to being a toddler or an infant. You know, your vocabulary range isn't there, and you can't eloquently get your point across. You know, the English language is so incredible with its spectrum of verbs, which can mean the same thing but on different levels. You know, it's kind of like going to a wing restaurant and getting different spices. You can say insults with different spice, or you can say how happy you are with different spice. And if you don't know that and you just say happy, angry, sad, it doesn't really hit the same. It just takes time, I'm sure, to practice it. It's one thing I quite enjoy speaking to locals, who I'm friends with different languages, and asking them, how would you describe this emotion? To make
That's
notes
good.
from helped, but I still got it wrong or mispronounced it. But if you ask it enough times, it eventually stick.
Sure. Absolutely. And not everybody is going to have the patience to deal with someone with a toddler's level of the language, right? So just knowing that it's not about you, it's okay. Keep putting yourself out there. You just got to keep trying. And someone's going to want to help you get the right words. It's all good.
Massively so, yeah. It's a very good point. People live their lives and they haven't got 3 hours a week to give to you to level up from the 10 to a 10-year-old. It's quite difficult. Kind of going on for that question. What's your best phrase you've learned since living abroad? So what's the kind of an idiom or something which is quite amusing to you, or something you used quite a lot?
Está bien. It's all good. I mean, I say that in English all the time. It's all good. Está bien. It's fine.
It's effective. Definitely.
It's effective, yeah.
I will be no comprende, but
there is a lot of that. But I'm trying to sound cool, so let's just keep it at está bien.
What's your best way of making new friends?
I guess same as it is anywhere. I just have a smile on my face. I enjoy people. I enjoy meeting new people, and I enjoy learning about people. So I just try and keep that vibe going no matter what country I'm in.
Yes, the language of body language kind of cuts through a lot of verbal differences, so you can probably be quite friendly or approachable with a smile, with certain mannerisms. So yeah, it's probably a very good bit of advice. What's your best thing to do in your new city? So you've moved again now to Kansas. So what's the best thing to do there?
I think in any new city, there's similarities, and most places can offer this, right? Find what the art life is like. If there's a museum nearby, if there's a zoo or a wild animal park, if there's just wherever the culture is, you can immerse yourself in that. Finding walking trails. Most cities have some sort of a walking trail, except for Los Angeles because we drive cars everywhere. Then just kidding.
Yeah. I was there too. One thing I didn't like about it, I liked Venice. That was really nice.
Venice
But my
is
friend
cool.
was saying you pay for safety and sidewalks in neighborhoods you're in. So
Exactly. So yeah.
I thought for Kansas it might be wearing red shoes and kicking your heels and saying there's no place like home because
Yes. There's been a few tornado warnings. That's been pretty interesting. Like, oh, wow, the sky is turning black. That's interesting. I'm not used to seeing that.
well, why not you become a storm hunter or something? You're going to chasing them.
Yeah, I've got way too many places I want to see. I'm not trying to. Retirement plan. That's a good
Faster way of
retirement
getting
plan.
there, you'll have a wind assist or something.
Just put on a helmet. Bring my suitcase.
Like Mary Poppins, And my last question is, what's your best expat life hack?
If you're on the metro or you're on any public transport or you're walking in any busy city anywhere, if you have to have a backpack on, just put it on the front of your body. Because, yeah, it's a good way to avoid headaches.
Well, there was a fear of my losing a passport.
Be quiet, Not you. I just meant that was my other piece of advice, is to be quiet. Like, just bring it in. It's okay. We don't have to be the center of attention out there.
But we want to be sometimes.
I know. I guess read the room.
If it's in Spanish, then you can't read it, so it might be difficult.
That's true. That was good. See what you did there.
I've got a lot of them in the arsenal as well. So thank you. Before this descends into chaos of bad jokes,
It's already feeling like it's going that way.
thank you. I've got to send. Thank you for your time and your wisdom and your kind of transparency. And we're wishing to share things which have the ups and downs of life abroad. And it's been great to talk to you, and I can meet you virtually and put a face to name and kind of get the story behind you. Someone, it's so amazing how social media works now. I can put a post up online and you would see that and think to respond and share something which is so personal to you, which is your story of living abroad. And just thank you, because it's quite a brave thing to do. And I just want to again just thank you for doing that. And this podcast wouldn't exist for people like yourself who are now sharing the stories and helping others if not prevent the mistakes, find a way out of them. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, James. It's been a pleasure.
And as always, if you have enjoyed the podcast, please do go and listen to the full episode with Chandra and I. But also, if you have enjoyed this one specifically, do like it, subscribe to it, share it with your friends and family. And as always, we'll see you next time for the Expat Pod.